Hi guys, do you remember a few weeks ago where people were putting up flags all over the place, where roundabouts were being redecorated and homes were painted in the colours of the Union flag or the flag of St. George, whether the people in those homes wanted it or not? Well, since then, of course, the councils have had to take down the bunting and flags, repaint roundabouts and public property, and that even included a Reform UK-led council. Well, the guys who were up to those shenanigans are back once again to explain why.
We went back to the final stomping ground where we sort of got a little bit defeated and we felt a bit down, and they did take all the flags down within sort of 2 or 3 hours. And we went back there and we thought, well, you know, bigger and better, and we'll show that we're patriotic and we're going to fight till the end. And we got a cherry picker. It was a great day again, and we've raised them higher than ever. Union's at the top and St George's below, and they look absolutely great until we got halfway down the high street, and then literally we got attacked from all angles. We got called every name under the sun. As you can see, it was a real good day. But what happened was that we got attacked by the left.
Okay, I don't know how we managed to identify being attacked by the left. Were they like wearing T-shirts that says "I'm the left" or something like that? Look. Just look at this picture. How many flags are there? Hundreds of flags. And of course, this is, as you can see, they're at a pretty high level, and they're going to create problems for motorists, for road users, for people walking on the pavement even. Because drivers are not going to see people on the pavement correctly. They're not going to see traffic lights. They're not going to see road signs. So it creates a public safety issue. Like, what's wrong with putting up one flag or a dozen flags in your garden, in your home? Everyone has a window. Maybe you don't have a garden. Everyone pretty much has a window. Put a flag in the window. Why do you have to fill the street with flags? You can see there are hundreds of flags there. If we go back to the previous image as well, hundreds of flags. Why is it necessary to have all these flags? It's creating a public safety issue. Because, once again, motorists may not see road signs, they may not see pedestrians, they may not see other cars, and there's a risk of an accident. And the council have a responsibility to make sure that the road is clear and that people can walk on the pavement and be able to, navigate safely. So they have to take these flags down. And when I've mentioned before, if you put a flag on a lamppost, you need permission to do that. And obviously there's no permission given here.
What happened was that we got attacked by the left.
That's footage from Derby. This not the footage that we've got. Let's try and get the footage of the lads using the cherry picker. We've got exclusive videos of you boys out and about last night. So just to explain, here you are. So the issue is, if you use a ladder to put flags up, somebody else can just come along with a ladder and one of those garden snippers.
Yeah, they had the garden snippers. They had we've seen people with makeshift devices on washing lines with stuff on, and they're prodding them down.
Okay, so he's parked on the side of the road with a cherry picker. Once again, I don't know if he has permission to park on the side of the road. I can sort of see a double yellow line there. That's a bit of a problem. But to put up a flag on a lamppost, once again, why can't you put the flag in your window? Why can't you put it in your garden? Why is it necessary that you have to put it on public property? And once again, as I mentioned before, this is potentially breaking the law. Now, the guy at the beginning of the interview talked about how this is patriotism. I don't know how this is patriotism, but for me, this is real patriotism. This is Zack Polanski at the Green Conference a few days ago.
There are so many people in this country who need us right now. Now, last month, I thanked my boyfriend Richie, who works in palliative care. Pretty emotional. I'm not going to do that again. I've got a speech to finish. But I was emotional because I see the work, both Richie and all his colleagues. I'm going to get emotional. Both all Richie does and his colleagues do every single day for people in their final chapters of life. I remember years ago when Richie first started working at the hospice. I was worried about what every day would be like, dealing with the weight of working in such an environment. But actually, it's the complete opposite. They often say in hospices, no one enjoys life more than those who work with people who are dying. And so, as well as thanking again my wonderful boyfriend, it's a moment to recognise how many people across our country are doing these jobs, caring for people, working for the public, showing kindness and compassion. That's the most patriotic thing I could possibly imagine.
That's patriotism. Looking after other people. You don't have to be working in a hospice. But the point that Zack has said here, the point that he's raising is that real patriotism is looking out for others, the most vulnerable in society, a neighbour, checking in on them. You see somebody struggling in the supermarket, maybe you can help them out. Maybe you see an old person in the supermarket, another example, who maybe can't pay their way. You give them an extra few quid to help them get by. Volunteering at a food bank, volunteering in the community. I think this is real patriotism. Not hanging frigging flags, creating an eyesore, creating a public safety risk. Like this guy here is talking about, we are real patriots because we hang flags. No, I'm sorry. Real patriotism is looking after ordinary people, checking in on them, giving them some support, having a chat with an old person who's living alone. That's patriotism. Caring about inequality, fighting against it. That's patriotism. Not shoving flags in people's faces. And I don't know this guy. I don't know whether he does any charity work, but wouldn't it be more practical, more useful for him to spend his time with people in his community or even his family than wasting his time filling the street with flags that will eventually be taken down anyway? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.